Good morning, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. Today I'm going to do a little short video, and I want to talk about an Odessa heart doctor that was murdered in June of 2015, June 11th, 2014. And his name was Dr. Gadasalli. Business partner also found dead in murder-suicide. Okay, and you can go Google this if you want. According to Odessa Police Department, witness says 60-year-old patient, business associate, and I can't pronounce that, but Thangum shot the 53-year-old Gatos-Elle multiple times. This is a picture of Dr. Gadasalli right here. Okay, and the reason that I wanted to do a video on this is because I'm asking the question if Dr. Gadasalli's murder, this murder-suicide, is connected to the crimes here at my house, which include, of course, the premeditated capital murder attempt on my life, the suspected murder of Mike Lahan, the last homeowner, and then the murder of that little girl at the oil show party, and then any of the other suspected murders in the crime ring, the underground facility, etc. And I'm going to show you why that I think that this is a possibility here, that this murder suicide over in here, this doctor, is connected. Okay, one, in 2011, late 2011, November, December, when I was still married for that little 3-month period, the ex-wife, who was a nurse, had come in with 100% sincerity, whispered in my ear, and said, "The secret is a group of doctors are killing people for profit." She was upset. Okay, she was dead serious. Okay, she didn't say they're killing Buddy for profit. She said they're killing people for profit. Okay, I believed her then. I believe her now. You're going to see here in a minute where I told the staff of U.S. congressmen, I told the Texas Rangers, I told the FBI this, I even told Department of Homeland Security, and this is a very important, because it's a lot more than murdering Buddy in his house or rigging homes all over Midland, Odessa. This home being rigged, or all over the country, whatever. These are serial killers, very smart, wealthy people that are serial killers that are coming after your family and your children, and they got to be stopped. And as far as I'm concerned, so I'm going to go over the evidence here, and I'm going to show you basically why I think that, and where I'm going to start is right here. Okay, I took a picture in 2014. Here's the date on it. Is June 29th, 2014, and this is right in front of my house. Of this doctor in a dark green Jaguar. You can tell he's wearing scrubs, and many people have told me they believe this was Dr. Gadasalli before he was murdered. And I thought it was suspicious at the time. That's the reason I took this picture. There was a big white large dog in the back. There ain't that many dark green Jaguars around, and that doctors drive, so obviously somebody knows who that is. And if that's Dr. Gadasalli that was parked in front of my next door neighbor's house, then I feel sure that his murder is connected to the crimes here. And then I say that goes back to the statement I was told originally, that a group of doctors are killing people for profit. So it should be easy to identify. All these years, I can't tell you how many times I posted this picture and get somebody to tell me, did Dr. Gadasalli have a dark green Jaguar or not? Because if he did, then as far as I'm concerned, there's a tie-in back. Okay, and so the home that this is just parked in front of me. And like I said, I took the picture because it looked suspicious to me. Okay, and that was this next door neighbor's home right here. Okay, now I'm in this home. I shot over here on this side. Okay, and there's a reason these are Google Earth historical pictures right here, but it was in front of this home, which is in front of my home, of course. Okay, and that's the home that had the suspected tunnel entrance in the backyard. Okay, that's where that arrow's pointing to. And what I did with Google Earth pictures, okay, these are dated in 3/31/08. There's nothing in that backyard of that home right there. Okay, and but by December 5th, 2009, there's that what looks like an underground entrance, what I suspected was the suspected tunnel entrance. Okay, and it was something covering the ground. You can see where I got the arrow pointed to it, and like I said, you can go look these up yourself. Just download Google Earth and look at the historical pictures. And so we know somewhere between them two dates and here in 2008 and there in 2009 that was put in. And of course, that's the same time frame that Mike Lawhon died and that I moved in. Okay, and then this area right here is where right now even looks like there might be an underground facility right there based on Google Maps. I've shown that many times that Google Maps shows this large facility in my backyard that's not there. And multiple people are documenting saying there's an underground facility here. Okay, and then I went on, and so I'm going to show when it was taken out. Okay, so the last picture of it being there with the Google Earth historical maps was here in October 2014. You can still see it there in the backyard. Okay, and then by April 28, 2016, it's been removed. Okay, so and I was posting pictures. I'd survived a murder attempt, and at the same time, also this live tree was taken out, and that's where the other suspected tunnel entrance is, where the two side-by-side manholes. And notice there's an 18-wheeler parked right there too. Okay, and so and even here I said digging noise because my shed, I recorded a digging noise coming from the ground. That's a video I've got right there. And so anyways, I just want to, main thing I want to show you, it was in front of that house right there. That's where this doctor that we were trying to get identified was. Okay. And I'm drawing up, letting an outline what I'm going to go over here. And I try to put it in order. Okay. And I'm going to show you here, and you can come back and you can read that. And then I'm going to go over the pictures there. But basically here, as I said a while ago, in November, December 2011 is when I'm told this secret. Okay, the secret is a group of doctors are killing people for profit. Of course, that's 1 month, 2 months before my phone lines are cut, and I'm shot from point blank range with a 45 handgun loaded with Glazer safety slugs or plastic tip pellet filled bullet to make my murder attempt look like an accident. And interestingly, if my murder would have been ruled a suicide, then the ex-wife, who happens to be the sister-in-law of the doctor up there at the hospital at the time, would have got this paid for home, which is a very special rigged home, and then around $650,000 in assets and life insurance, instead of getting nothing from a 3-month marriage and divorce. I'd filed divorce papers 5 days before I shot. Okay, and so I'm gonna go here. Try to come in order. Okay. And so a lot of this, some of this is going to come back to various doctors besides Dr. Gadasalli. And one thing I want to show here is I did the research on the who built my house. Okay, because this is coming back to the crimes here connected to doctors, specifically Gadasalli. Okay, so Tabor Construction looked like they were the builders of my home, and I Googled them and I found, okay, they're on 3217 Mark Lane. They're no longer in business anymore, but that's what I found online. And here's with the board of directors, office of directors. Okay, and Aaron Gobble, okay, this is kind of interesting, was the vice president of Tabor Construction. Aaron Gobble died on the famous Clayton Williams plane crash at Valentine's Day 1990. Okay, and that's when he was running for governor of Texas. And so the vice president of the company that built my home and the rest of the homes in this cul-de-sac, he died on that very famous plane crash. Now Clayton Williams is like a local billionaire here, oil man, all that. And like I said, he ran for governor of Texas, and he would have actually, he was winning, and he made this statement that cost him the election. And he said something about the weather's like rape. If you can't do nothing about it, just sit back and enjoy it. And that cost him the record. And I think Ann Richards won the governor race because of that. Of course, that's a side story. So anyways, they're on the Midland County appraisal district. I just thought, I'll look up that address, 327 Mark Lane. Now that's the listed address for Tabor Construction. And then my mouth fell open when I looked at the deed history. My ER doctor from the night I was shot used to own the same address of that Tabor Construction, and that made me wonder if the ER doctor, because the ER doctor was there when them X-rays were falsified, and come to find out, he was the brother-in-law of the ex-wife I just filed divorce on 5 days later. Okay, and so I wanted to show you just that information, and then also, you can go look this up yourself. This is the Midland County Appraisal District website, midcad.org, and you can look up any home. You go under property address, and it's a slow site, but we'll go Fair Circle. And I'm waiting. There we go. Okay. And there's only like 9 homes in my cul-de-sac, and that's what you're gonna see here in a minute. And we're waiting and waiting. Okay. Now it comes back. Okay, so then if you want to do the research and you're following this story and all that, then you can see these are the current owners of the homes here and the addresses. Okay, and so let's look at my home here under Buddy Webb. Okay, and I clicked on that, and it's real slow. Okay, the site's slow, but you come in here and there's a section called the deed history. Okay, and that tells you who used to own it when they sold it. It's not complete. The older records you have to go to the courthouse for, because the first owner was Randy Offenberger. He was an engineer for Pioneer, and that might have been when the underground access was put in. But there you can see I bought the home from Mike Lawhon that died 2 weeks before me. He's the one we suspected of murder. He bought it from Brandy Merrill. She lived across the street when I moved in. She was married to Price, was his name, Daniel Price. And then she bought that from Morris Kurt, and he is a retired teacher in town. And then Morris Kurt bought it from the other thing here on the deed history. If you're following this part, is it'll tell you when the home was built right there in 1982. Okay, and other research, and that's a different story. My best guess is all this underground access was put in around 87, 85, somewhere around there. But anyway, that'll just show you how to look at the deed history and that. Okay, so let's go on here. And I am looking at doctors here. Okay, and as well as Dr. Gadasalli. Okay, this is the protective order, the infamous protective order. Remember, the ex-wife that's alleged to be involved in the shooting that I hadn't seen or talked to in a year and a half and lived 100 miles away files a protective order on me. Is that absurd, right? I mean, truly absurd. I'm married to her for 3 months. She's alleged to be involved in the shooting by her former boyfriend. But here, what happened, and the reason this is here is because before we separated there in December, she threatened suicide. Okay, and then the police were called. So there's a police record that can be verified, and the police released her as long as she goes and sees her psychiatrist. Okay, so I was married to her, and I went with her to this psychiatrist visit over in Odessa. It was a Odessa psychiatrist, her doctor, and I was sitting there, and when the psychiatrist reminds her about the time with the bikers. So I guess she tried to commit suicide before that I wasn't aware of. And then he said that about the time you felt guilty for getting your daughter involved in prostitution. Well, that was news to me too. And I heard the doctor say it. I was sitting right there, and so I tried to bring this up in this, in this protective order here, and that she filed, and the ADA at the time, Dr. Jewett, she didn't want that information coming out, and she objected and got it stopped, But my attorney had subpoenaed them the medical records from Dr. Mady, to prove it. I mean, it's a fact because I was sitting there and I heard that doctor say it firsthand myself, and so. And then the big date here, that's what I tell a lot of people. Even yesterday I told them, this is not a capital attempted tunnel case. This is a capital attempted murder case. And basically, as long as I have proof I wasn't shot with my gun, that means somebody come to my home and shot me. That's what I've been saying all along. There's all kinds of proof. Size of pellets are 2.5 sizes different. No empty shotgun shell was found. Of course, now we just recently found where they hand wrote it down, and you got it on the report 7 years later. But that's only because of my, making a point of it. This is the only reason they scribbled one piece of evidence out and wrote that in, because they're trying to cover it up. And then a large amount of plastic found in the wound. That is a changer right there. That means I was shot with a special plastic tip pellet-filled bullet. They shot me with a special bullet to make my murder look like an accident, and that would added $500,000 to the benefit if they rule my murder an accident. Okay, Lisa Rogers said I was shot with a 45 X-rays faked, etc. But anyway, I'm just going on dates, and this is the history. Okay, and we're doing doctors. Okay, we have several proofs that X-rays were fake. That's incredible. That should be a national news story. Faking X-rays is just huge. Billions of dollars to be made, and just imagine. Just imagine it. You go in there and, and you're coughing, they take x-ray your lung. We see a lump on your lung, this dark mass, and they take your lung out. It wasn't even your lung. They just took the x-ray, somebody else put your name on it. How would you know the difference? Are you going to question a doctor, right? Because the doctors know everything, right? And so it took a long time. But what I knew is I was shot during a home invasion, and I'm putting it all together going, these x-rays don't make sense. And then that's where I figured out, okay, here's what we found here, that the ER doctor, my brother-in-law, I didn't know about, orders 3 x-rays. And this secret lab tech, secret to this day, named User Interface, cancels the doctor's orders and reorders 2 x-rays. Now, why would he do that? And the reason he did that is because they're time-stamped before they ordered. He didn't have enough faked x-rays going on. They took the x-rays and somebody else put my name on it. But that's only one proof, okay? I first figured this out at the office of the late Dr. Glass when we took an x-ray and he put it up there on his old-timey light box on the wall, and I noticed that a recent broken toe was missing from the x-ray. This picture's real blurry here. I've got much better pictures than that. But basically, I pointed it out to him. He started stuttering. I ain't never seen anybody so busted so bad, And so that was my first indicator that here. And then even a third one was when I noticed that the heel bone was missing in x-rays taken before surgery. Okay. And so I broke my toe 4 months before, and so I happened to have an x-ray of my heel. So you'd see what my heel bone looks like. Well, this is the night I'm shot, 2012, and here's an x-ray that's supposedly my foot. Notice that the heel bone's gone. See how big the heel bone is? See, the heel bone's gone. Okay. But I hadn't had surgery yet. And it wasn't shot out. I had 2 small holes in my foot when I got to the ER. And the ER doctor himself wrote in his ER report, it was a through and through gunshot wound that appears to look like a shotgun blast. And of course, that's strange wording, right? That my brother-in-law that I didn't know about would actually make that statement. Appears, because I was shot with a bullet to make it appear that I shot with a shotgun when I hadn't been. Okay. I shot with a handgun, 45 handgun loaded with a plastic tip pellet filled bullet. Okay, this is all about doctors. And then they did a partial amputation. They took me into surgery after they took the x-rays of somebody else, and they took me into surgery and they cut my heel bone out. So that was a partial amputation. And then they tried to cut my leg off at the knee. Multiple attempts. This top one, amputation, was mentioned by Rosa Rodriguez, Detective Rosa Rodriguez. Okay, now a lot of people know who that is. That's the lifelong childhood friend of the ex-wife that met me at the 7-Eleven, said she wasn't there. She's one of the people that called me delusional in court, and just caught in multiple lies, and this Rosa Rodriguez. But you sit there and go, now why would Rosa Rodriguez be all interested in my leg being amputated? And I think the obvious reason is because she knows I wasn't shot with my gun, and this was a capital attempted murder, and they wanted my leg cut off. They wanted the evidence cut off. Another interesting thing on the medical records, attempt was made to place him because we thought the police department required that he not go home. Okay, place me in a mental facility. Okay, right here I'm the victim of a capital attempted murder, home invasion. Been reporting these crimes at my home, and they're trying to have me committed after somebody tried to murder me. Okay, I offered this patient an amputation. I explained you might need an amputation in the future, and this goes on and on. Amputation, day after day. I have a dated one too of these same things. These are different days right here. This went on for several months. Every time I'd see the doctors, they were desperate. I mean, desperate to cut off my leg, and I think they didn't want anybody to see what they did because I was literally intentionally maimed and mutilated. Okay. This is the operating room staff, okay, and I went ahead and redacted the name of the surgeon, but these are the people that was in the operating room when I was intentionally maimed and mutilated. So if you're an investigator, these are people you might want to talk to because I got a feeling they saw something, and if they saw maiming and mutilation of a crime victim or dismemberment of a crime victim with me, then it makes sense that this has happened to other people, and they've seen other things that were sick and heinous, and it's almost beyond imagination how evil that is. Okay, I sent this to the Texas Medical Board. Okay, October 15th. Okay, and I got a letter back. Your communication has been submitted to the Enforcement Division of the Texas Medical Import has been submitted to the Texas Medical Board Enforcement Division. Please be patient as a response. And we're still waiting, okay? So here we're 4 years later. Never got any messages back, nothing at all. You know, I've had people go, I need to know who them doctors are. And I'm going, I know you do, but I can't tell you. You know, I wish I could tell you. And, but I tell you, who can tell you, the law enforcement can tell you. That's a fact. And Texas Medical Board can tell you. Okay, this is very, very interesting. Okay, this is from x-rays I had after I was shot. And this is the radiology consultation, the x-ray doctor. And he's doing his deal. Okay, it was Dr. Hinton. And he says, yeah, I compared the x-rays from the injury day to 1/17/12 to other ones at 1/19/12. And here's what I found and saw and all this. Okay, well, the problem is I was shot 11 days later. He wasn't looking at my x-rays. And that's not a typo. That's two different sets of x-rays right there. Okay, so that's Dr. Hinton right there. Okay, come to find out, Dr. Hinton was in the same office with the old brother-in-law, right? The ER doctor, the hospital. And remember what I told you a minute ago, he's the one who ordered 3 x-rays, secret lab tech user interface, canceled it. So here, Dr. Hinton right here, you know, has some questions answered as far as I'm concerned. And what I really believe is somebody else was shot with a shotgun 11 days for me on the 17th. And then they took that guy's foot and they put my name on it. And I also saw where Dr. Hinton charged the insurance company for x-rays on 1/28/12. And that's the night it's proven it's faked. We've already seen triple evidence that it's faked. And so the question has been asked, wouldn't that be considered medical fraud? You know, I mean, isn't that medical fraud if you're getting paid for faked x-rays? Okay, and so here we go. And this is a court record. Okay, this is a transcript from the protective order hearing. And I'm just going to hit this part of it. And I'm asked, and I testify in court under oath. She said the secret is that a group of doctors are killing people for profit, you know. Well, what she didn't tell me this entire time we was married is that her brother-in-law was a doctor, okay? And so... And remember, and her brother-in-law used to live in the same address as the builders of my home. Okay, we hit that a minute ago. And then I have the dated picture in 2014. Okay, and I started with this, Dr. Gadasalli, because this is about Dr. Gadasalli. Okay, but at the same time period in 2014, there's a lot of other things happened. That's when the live tree was removed in 2014. That's when the thing was taken out, suspected tunnel entrance in the backyard. That's in late 2014. That's when secret police Mike Naylor, Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor, was murdered in line of duty. 2 months later, secret police Chad Simpson murdered his wife, kills himself. 2 secret police and a policeman's wife now dead, all connected to murder to my life. That all happened all around the same time. Some people said that's all about, there's a cover-up going on. And it's very important we figure out who this guy is in this dark green Jaguar. Okay. Congressman Conaway, Mike Conaway, okay, and U.S. Congressman Mike Conaway. I got an official letter from Congress, okay, and here's what happened, and you can see the date on it, 1/22/15. And basically, I'm sitting here one night and I get a phone call. And, if you want to join a town hall meeting with Mike Conaway, press a number. So I pressed a number, okay? And they said, well, you want to make a comment, ask a question, press a number. So I pressed the number. Next thing I know, I'm telling Congressman Mike Conaway, I'm sure this could be found, I'm sure it was recorded, that 2 weeks after reporting a suspected tunnel to the DEA, I'm ambushed and shot inside my home. Then I catch some secret police in my home. Now keep in mind, there's a police report for that. Remember that police report was withheld for 7 years, and now it's proven it's falsified, and so for 7 years, the secret police were secret, and even right now, the private investigator shows different names than what's on the police report. Okay. So anyway, this is about Conaway though, and Conaway said, thank you. And he says, but I'm just a lawmaker. I don't have nothing to do with the law or something like that. You can read it for yourself, how it's not my problem. And it's not my problem. And and he refers me to U.S. Inspector Horowitz, okay? And so he even gives me the phone number, and I contacted the Inspector General over 100 times by email and phone. Never got a reply back. I sent them email after email after email after email. It was a total dead end. And what the Inspector General was supposed to do is investigate allegations of corruption in federal departments, such as the FBI and the DEA. And I remember 2 weeks after calling the DEA, I'm ambushed and shot in my home. A lot of people believe somebody at the DEA set me up to be murdered because I reported crime, you know. And don't forget, I recorded an FBI agent saying he's going to shred evidence in a capital attempted murder and suspected murder of the last homeowner and the murder of the little girl and all kinds of other evidence. And he's shredded it. As far as I know, the FBI shredded evidence, and that's that recorded phone call is a YouTube video, okay? And so that's what I'm trying to report here to the U.S. Inspector General that won't ever reply, that Mike Conaway, and come to find out, Mike Conaway's brother-in-law used to live across the street. I only got 9 homes in this cul-de-sac. I got one person saying there's an underground facility half a block away, and the brother-in-law of Mike Conaway used to live across the street. Now remember, a previous owner of my home, Brandy Merrill, lived in that home, in what I call the Conaway home. And I didn't show it here. The name was Legrand, Legendray, or I don't know how you pronounce it. But that was the brother-in-law. And who it was the brother of Suzanne Conaway. Okay, and Suzanne Conaway is married to Mike Conaway. Interestingly, Suzanne's first husband, okay, Randy Kidwell, died on that famous Clayton Williams plane crash, along with the vice president of Tabor Construction, the builder of my home. Okay, and so that's also, I think, very interesting. Okay. Here we're back to Gadasalli. This is, I posted this earlier, and this article you want to go read on Odessa American, and it's going to talk about how he was being investigated for money laundering. Okay, and I'm going to show you that here. Okay, and there's the article, but here even they did a follow-up article and how it was a dispute over money. Okay, but the one thing here I was going to show you is that. Okay. Thangum, okay, a local psychiatrist who owns Happy Heart Center, sent a text message to this doctor on May 5th, according to the report, asking him to get some money back for the investment. Okay, so we got more doctors. Remember now, Thangum is who murdered Gatos-Elle. Okay, so it wasn't just some random guy comes in and murders Gatos-Elle. It was a person that was another, doctor connected to psychiatrists over in Odessa. That's what I wanted to show you there. Okay. And then there was one more, and this is more recent, 2017. This was a radiologist here in Midland charged with aggravated assault of a child, okay? And his name was Noah Alexander Wimpy, whatever. This is and you can go to the Midland Reporter Telegram. You can find this article yourself, okay? Well, as soon as I see stuff like this, because I always key on these doctors, because I was told a group of doctors kill people for profit. So I Googled this guy's name, and when I saw the address, I figured out that he that was in the same address as my brother-in-law, the ER doctor that was up there when the x-rays faked, and Dr. Hinton, the one that said he looked at my x-rays from 11 days before. They were all in the same office together. And so, I think there's some leads here. I'll be sending this to DHS and posting it on my Facebook and YouTube, and thought y'd find that interesting.